Welcome to Fairview, Texas. Mayor Sim Israeloff explains the far time horizon in our planning and zoning process.
I don't know if that's going to affect what Google's looking for or not, but as a town, we have historically looked 20 to 25 years ahead. From when the town started in the 1950s and started building up particularly in the 70s and 80s, Wedge and others put together commercial district plans and guidelines, and then they were replaced by more comprehensive commercial district guidelines and things that we knew were probably 10 to 20 years out. And we held on and kept very high standards and didn't take just what the typical suburban community around here would take, which is the first Tom, Dick, and Harry that comes along and wants to build a strip center or a 7-Eleven in a square concrete box. Yes, thank you. And next thing we know, we're all built out and it looks hideous and it's trashy and it's ugly. We put in plans that were looking towards what we would like the town to be 10 and 20 years from now, and for people that came early and wanted to put in something that was not really in keeping with our long-term vision, we said thank you, no. The 7-Eleven and the predecessor that tried to build a little convenience store on that site, they wanted to build a little block building, and we said no, it's really a very visible corner of our town. We need to make it look very attractive. It's kind of the entryway to that part of our town. And they finally gave up, and the 7-Eleven people came, and we said, look, we're not going to let you put your standard box in there. And they finally agreed to work with us, and it became very creative. Their architect told me one time privately, I asked him jokingly if he really hated the fact that we were running them through the ringer to make something that's unique and attractive, and he privately said, no, actually, I enjoy it, because this is different. For me, as the architect, this is different. So we have a 7-Eleven now with a front porch and stone pillars and a cupola and a standing seam metal roof, and it was the most successful 7-Eleven anywhere for many, many years. So to me, this kind of network opportunity or connectivity opportunity is what we're looking to do 20 to 30 years from now. And Fairview has kind of prided itself on being a progressive place. Environmentally, we've had environmental regulations on the books for building codes and building regulations since long before it was trendy. We protect native trees, we have creeks and green belts, we have our dark skies ordinance to keep the sky dark at night, we have everything. On the environmental side, we have a green building ordinance that applies to residential, which almost nobody does. Everybody has a green building ordinance for commercial buildings. You've got to build them environmentally sound and green and efficient. Well, we did one of the very, very few that applies to residential building. And again, that's just something that's looking forward 20, 30 years. The light rail tracks that come up through Fairview that are not in use, that someday, some year, some decade, DART or some other similar agency will put light rail there. We know it, and we know it's probably going to be 20 years or more until somebody figures out how to pay for it. But when we authorized the group to build the shopping center over there, we said you're going to leave space for future transit stations, because someday it's going to come up and we don't want to be caught 20 years from now having built right up to the edge of the train tracks and have no room left to put something in there. So to me, it's more of it's not political, it's planning, and it's image of the town, and it's the view towards where we would like it to be that far down the road. We're willing to wait for it. We're willing to plan ahead for it, and ultimately we'll all be better when it does come in that way.
So why Fairview? Because it's right.